Hello and welcome to the Biztrepreneurpodcast. I'm Kevin Ross and I'll be diving deep into conversation with entrepreneurs, hearing their stories, the highs, lows, tips, tricks and tactics, and most importantly to see where we can learn and hopefully be inspired. Today we have Micheál Flannery of the Fishbox in Dingle, County Kerry. All talks about how the business started, how it was a family effort, how it grew and where he sees it going in the future. Thank you for all your support for the last 3 episodes and I hope you enjoy this one.
So basically my mother was a chef and my father was a fisherman, and we said, hey, let's just mash them together. And so there used to be a queue going from the till to maybe down as far as Dick Max. But when the soccer stars come in, I get a bit fangirlish. Find out what you want to do, why you want to do it, and who you're doing it for.
Micheál Flannery of the Fishbox in Dingle, you are very welcome to the Biztrepreneur podcast.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having us. We're delighted to be on.
So look, Micheál, give our listeners a quick intro as to who you are and what you do.
Yeah, so my name is Micheál Flannery and I'm running the Fishbox in Dingle, County Kerry. Basically, we set up the Fishbox in August 2018 just with the idea in mind and just kind of supporting local and just putting kind of Irish seafood on the map and little bit more, trying to get more people to eat Irish seafood. We come from a fishing background. My father was a fisherman. His father before him was a fisherman, and my older brother Patrick is now the skipper of our trawler, the Coonamarra. I was kind of helping him out before we opened here, doing a bit of paperwork and whatnot for him. He was doing all the hard work out on the boat, but basically, we just seen this kind of a niche. We just thought that there was just a market for, kind of upper market food at a really good price. When we seen that we could get, kind of cut out all the middlemen, we'd be able to give out really good portions and really good value for money to customers here in the shop. Okay. So basically my mother was a chef and my father was a fisherman, and we said, hey, let's just mash them together and see what happens, and here we are.
And see what happens is right, take it day by day. Like, you have a successful business in one of the busiest tourist locations in Ireland. And I mean, as you know, I'm always down in Dingle with delivering bouncy castles, and it's kind of like a go-to thing. I cannot leave Dingle without going to the Fishbox, and the lads know going back in the van that we are going, and there's no point me saying, oh no, we're not going today. They just know that I'm going to give in, and that's really possibly why castles end up being late to the next house. We're at 30 minutes because we had to stop and eat the Fishbox, but just well worth it. I won't say I regret any time I did it anyway.
Thanks very much, appreciate it.
Father said he was back there only the last evening. He said he pulled up outside the door and he rang in and you were taking payment and stuff. He was like, I'm actually outside the door. So he said it was so handy. He came out, took payment out through the window, handed in the food. Bob's your uncle. He was loving it.
Yeah, so we've got the whole drive-through thing going now as well, so people don't even have to get out of their cars. They can phone in or order on the app, and we just kind of advise them to leave us their the make and model of the car or their reg number even. Yeah. We just bring it out to them, or else even if, say if there's an elderly person and they don't want to come in, if they don't feel safe, we have a portable card machine now. They can go out and just tap at their window, so it's great.
That's something so simple that can be, one way so innovative and another way, COVID compliant, and makes things easier for people. It kind of gives a safety side to it. Yeah, loving it. And look, I suppose going back to the start, where did it all begin? How did the Fishbox come into fruition? Tell us.
So it's funny, it kind of all happened way back in maybe 2016. I was in college at the time, and a friend of my father's just let him know that this building was going to be coming up for sale. So obviously they've been friends for years, and they came up here. Patrick and my dad came and looked at it, and they looked around, and it was kind of the usual kind of chat. And when they left, my father's friend just said to him, don't leave it past you. So it was kind of going back and forth for a while, and I think it was in June 2016 the deal was done. So I think the two lads were going to do it themselves first, and they needed someone to kind of run it, so they brought me on it. So I got involved then with them, and the three of us kind of went from there. Wow. It's funny, when we bought it, bought the building, there was only, it was obviously kind of a bit derelict, it was a bit run down. Hadn't been lived in. It was, it needed work. The whole backyard was all overgrown, 10, 12 feet of these big massive bushes.
You
and
needed
stuff.
A digger going in there to even get started on it. Yeah.
We had maybe I don't know how many trailers came out of here, maybe 10 or 12 trailers of stuff, so it was pretty bad. Like, and like all these old town buildings are all built with kind of like, you know, you'd have a wall, say like a wall in between two houses, and it's just made out of like literally bricks and clay. So we had to get rid of all that and make it safe if we're going to have customers back here. But it's funny, when we bought it, like nobody knew. Only myself, my brother, my father, and my grandfather were the only 4 people that knew. Not even my mother knew. For ages.
That you bought it?
Yeah, it was all hush hush for ages and ages. Because the plan was to get another boat. We're going to expand and get another boat and try and expand the business a small bit. We said we'd chance this because my father was saying he's been fishing for years and he just been going around in circles. So this is what it went. It was actually quite funny because when we got in 2016, we actually didn't start work until March 2018, between the jigs and the reels, between planning permission and, you know, bits and bobs. So that was the crack. We used to just be in here. We hadn't a clue what we were doing. We were just in here moving blocks around for the lads, and we'd never been on a building site. Didn't know anything.
Totally
we were very green, and we were just kind of building it with thing in our head that it was just going to be a chipper, like, and that was it. Kind of just be fish and chips. That's it. Just fish and chips and mushy peas, and that was the plan. And it was gas. We kind of travelled around a bit before we opened, and we kind of saw that there was this big gap for a place that you could get something that's kind of like street foody but upper market, as well as, you know, your fish and chips. But the fish and chips needed to be extraordinary. It needed to be better, bigger, tastier. And we just worked on that then. And it wasn't until maybe 2 or 3 days before we opened we actually had a menu together. Again, had no experience in that.
Yeah, how did you figure all that out?
We had, obviously my mother was kind of giving us some tips, and we had another chef God as well, and he was kind of guiding us down the route. But as I said, we'd been to loads of restaurants, so we were kind of taking some of their ideas as well. And whatever we got going, then just jumped 2 feet in and just took off. That was it. Just here we are.
Yeah, like following your Instagram there was a couple of days there you were like, yeah, sold out. Yeah. It was, you know, at the start it was just crazy busy. The demand was massive.
Yeah, it was nuts. Like, so when we opened first, obviously we opened it 31st of August 2018, so we'd missed the season. That first September we had the American tourists, right, and we had our local trade, which was grand. Yes. But we were only learning too, like, as in at the start we were like rough enough, like with stuff we hadn't things figured out, and we were trying to get portion sizes right and trying to get the batter right, the chips right, and it was tough, like, because we weren't expecting it. Like, we weren't expecting any demand or anybody to even come in. But kind of as it got going, we were learning obviously all the time, and whatever, we went into the winter time and that was fine. We had a couple of busy days, obviously Rand's Day, and we had New Year's and that kind of Christmas stint, and then we opened, and then it was obviously quiet January, February, March, and I just remember St. Patrick's Day, it just took off. Like, as in, it just one day we opened the doors and that was it. It was crazy, and like we just kind of steamrolled from there. But I remember that first year, like, we had what we do now is we take names to the doors and we send people away and we ring them when their table's ready. Yep. So that first year we just left people queue up. So there used to be a queue going from the till up until either up or down the street, depending on who started it. Yeah. Maybe down as far as Dick Max. But I remember so many nights having to go out at like 8:30 and be like to people that had been waiting there for maybe since 6 o'clock, 6:30, and I'd be like, lads, I'm sorry, we're sold out. Just ready to just get a belt and run out, like literally nearly crying. They'd be nearly crying and I'd be like, I don't know, like just trying to explain the story that we were just winging it, we haven't a clue what we're doing, and we're just here and this is it. And they'd just be laughing and come back the next day, 99% of them. So yeah. I don't think we upset too many. Well, I do. We upset a few, but not everyone.
yeah. But yeah, like from there now, so you had it set up. It actually probably worked in your favour that you didn't get the first summer, because if you were trading in just the likes of June, July and August, it would have been straight into the deep end, whereas you got your August, end of your August, you got your September for your Americans, and you got the winter trade to kind of get yourselves going, you know.
Yeah, no, 100%. It wasn't until I'd say the following March that we really like dialed in on what we were doing, like, and you know, after that first summer we stopped, say January 2020, we stopped for 4 weeks and we totally changed everything. We put in this like state-of-the-art fryer for our fish and chips, because when you're cooking fish and chips you need the frying time and you need the heat to be very consistent to make it extra crispy and to make it that nice without, you know, burning the fish or burning the batter, and to make our chips that extra bit better. So we put this big massive frying unit in and we changed the kitchen to be more efficient, to be able to cater for the crowds. And obviously when we opened back up 3 weeks later we had COVID, So yeah, gas that like just our luck. So we haven't really got a chance to try it that much. We had obviously July and August this year, or last year, which was pretty busy, but other than that, it's been kind of closed really since that January. Like we redid the whole restaurant from the initial design. We changed the whole thing. We made it kind of more upmarkety and just kind of more efficient, I think, in general.
You dressed up the place a bit. It was like there was new tables, new chairs, and all the pictures up on the walls and everything like that. It looked well. And then, so what's your role in the business from day to day? Do you go out on the boat, or are you inside in the shop most days? Are you the books, or are you behind the counter?
Kind of a mixed grill. I kind of do of it all. I'm not out on the boat anymore, thank God. That's just Patrick now. So I didn't have very good sea legs, but to be honest, like we've kind of streamlined everything a small bit, because like you can get kind of lost and caught up in business. It's important to have something outside of the business as well. I think the last year I actually did every day from when we opened in July until to my birthday weekend in October. That's too much. So we streamlined it a bit now. We have a restaurant manager in here. We've got a head chef in here, so we can take a bit of a break, and they're really, really helpful for us and for progressing the business. It's been unbelievable. But my role, I suppose, I like having a hand in everything, a say in everything. So basically I run the fish box or whatever, and I help out with the wages and the revenue and stuff with the trawler as well. So I'm kind of in between, the liaison between the two of them, I suppose, trying to make sure that our fish is fresh every week, and trying to make sure that that we're getting the utmost value for the fish that's coming out of the boat, to make sure that the fishermen are reaping the rewards of their catch.
Wow. So like, because you're catching yourselves, you're taking out the middleman there as well. You're making
100%. So basically, the way it works, like if you've got a trawler, you come in and you land your fish and you sell it to somebody, and there's an agent in the middle. They add on a commission, but you've got all these costs. Then, say you've got your transport costs, your agent's fees. Then you've got your commission that's on top of that. You have to pay for, if it goes in fish boxes, you have to pay for the fish boxes to be brought back. You've got all this cost, and like when you're paying transport, you pay by the kilogram. So
whereas Micheál just goes, Patrick, hi! Bring up a load there now.
Yeah. So we're watching the markets all the time, basically. So if something drops, I don't know, say monkfish for an example, say if they've got some monkfish and the price drops, I'll try and take it off them and create a special here. Like I'll talk to the chef and the restaurant manager. I'll say, hey, we've got some monkfish this week. Is there any chance you can make a special for this? And we'll try and make the margin from that price. And we'll try and pay them the original price. Say if it's €5 a kilo or whatever, we'll try and pay them that to make sure that they're getting the best value. But the main thing we kind of had in mind with that was that if we were able to, create enough demand for the fish on the boat, that we'd be able to nearly buy a lot of it, what they're catching.
Yeah.
And if we were able to add value to their catch through this means, then they wouldn't have to do as many days at sea. That it'd be a very sustainable way of catching the seafood. They wouldn't be burning as much diesel. They wouldn't be harvesting as much from the sea. It'd be a full cycle, and that when we're transporting the fish, then we wouldn't be, there wouldn't be fumes from the truck or whatever going all over Europe. It'd just be coming here. We could create local employment, filleting the fish. Complete sustainability was one of the main things that we looked at.
100%. And then you look at, I can guarantee so many people are listening now thinking, wow, all that is behind before this fish comes in a box to me. All the logistics, the planning, the organising, a lot of people wouldn't see that behind the business, to say like, this is what it took to get to me on the plate here now inside the restaurant.
100%. And it's tough because we have this full story like that. Obviously we know who catches it. Patrick catches it. We actually label all of our seafood, so we know who handles it from when it comes on board the ship. We know who handles it, we know who fillets it or guts it, we know who washes it, puts it into the box. Then it comes to Dingle, obviously, or to wherever the boat lands or docks up. We go down, we fillet it, or whatever way we have to portion it for the fish box. And then we know, like, basically from when it comes out of the water to when it gets into the kitchen, we know who's processed it. Then we know who cooks it, we know who puts it on the plate, and then we get to meet the people that are going to eat it. Mm-hmm. So we have full control of the process.
Wow. And looking at your whole career so far, right, in the fish box, obviously in every business, and I've said this in every episode so far, there's the sunshine and there's the rainbows and it's all hunky-dory and everything like that. But like, bring us back to a time where the blood pressure went up a bit, you know, it was kind of like, what am I going to do here? A scenario where you were faced with a problem.
Anytime we have to pay tax.
every October comes around and you're like, oh
man, that first October, you're just thinking, why did I start? You know what? This place is actually, the fish box is quite busy, so it's quite high stress anyway. But you know, there's times obviously that hasn't ever been plain sailing anyway. But I don't know, like it's tough. Like nearly every day is tough because you're trying to, you know, I think now is probably the toughest because we're only doing weekends and we don't want any waste, so we're just trying to take the fish that we're going to use because we don't want to freeze it down and we want it to be fresh and to be right. So sometimes it can be like, you know, if we're anticipating it to be quite busy and it's not as busy as we thought, we're left with a lot of fish at the end. What we do then is we try and give it to maybe some staff or to you know, if there's an elderly person that we knew that would enjoy it, or to friends or whatever, like we try and do that. And then like, obviously you've got the opposite, that it's you know, it's Sunday evening and it's up the walls and you've got no fish left. Yeah. And you're just like, why didn't I take out more, or why didn't I get more fish or whatever? But in the summertime there, it's extremely like flat out. It's 9 in the morning till 12 at night, and it's just every day till it's over, like, you know. And it's and
you just do it. You just do it.
I don't think you even know you're in it until it's over. You know, you're just there, and you know, like I find it with me as well. Like I was, I'm normally like around 75 kgs, and I remember at the end of last summer, I weighed myself. I was around 63 kgs, which is a stone lighter, and like didn't even notice it. Just going, drinking coffee, going, and just
the adrenaline rush through it, because you know there's no choice. You have to do it. That's it. Do you know?
Yeah,
like,
yeah, no, 100%. But it's so important, I think, with any business that you love what you do, and you know, even with the hard times and when it's tough, and sometimes you have to have tough conversations with people and things like that. If you love it, at the end of the day, it's worthwhile. You know what I mean? Like, I love going down to the boat. I love coming here. I love meeting the people that come in, and you know, it's really important. And I think that the staff and the whole team that work with us, they all have to love it too. I think if you didn't love it, you wouldn't be able to work here. I think it's very important. The passion is very important, I think.
How are you finding the whole managing the staff? Do you know, like any entrepreneur or business person that's starting out and they're thinking, right, okay, if I have to take on staff, how's that going to be? Like, how many staff have you got on now? And, you know, making timetables out and paying them and everything else.
Yeah, so I was actually controlling all that the first year we were in business, and it was chaotic, very bad. I used to put up the rosters maybe like 1 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday night, and there'd be people in on the Monday. They'd be like, what's the story here? Like, so when we closed last January, we took on a restaurant manager, and he's absolutely unbelievable, and he takes such the stress off me. So he deals with all that now, thank God. So basically the way it works, if there's any issues, that he'd try and resolve it. If he couldn't resolve it, he'd come to me, and we just chat about it once a week. Then we sit down once a week and we chat about everything, and if there's anything that's kind of, you know, like an overriding issue that couldn't be resolved, we try and work together then to resolve it. So it's good. I think delegation is important when it comes to progressing the business, because the first year I was so invested in every little aspect of the business, trying to perfect it, whereas now I have a little bit more time to sit back and see the wider picture, like, of things and where I want to go with, and you know, you just have a better idea of what's the best way forward.
And that brings us along to the topic of work-life balance.
Yeah, no, 100%. A work-life balance is so important, because you need to get out and you need to like meet your friends, and you need to just not be so invested in something, like, you know what I mean? You need to just get away from it. And sometimes it's the best remedy to something. If you have an issue and you can't see a solution for it, you have to just look from the outside in. And it's so important. And I find it even with the boat. I see it with Patrick. Like, he just gets so invested in perfection. You know, he wants it to be perfect, and sometimes it's hard. You know, it's hard to perfect it when you're in it.
You can only do your best.
Yeah, exactly, 100%.
And then going to the total opposite then of the moment in the fish box history now where you went, yes, that was unbelievable. Wow, I've done something good here, you know.
Yeah, you know, we're quite lucky. So it's a lot of family work here. My mom works here, and my sister works here, and my dad works very closely with us, and I work very closely with Patrick. So, that's something that we're like, that I'm very, very proud of, to get us all together in one place. And obviously, like, working with family is extremely difficult. To see that, it fills us with pride, like, to be able to do that every day and to be able to live out a dream with these people, like, is great. And like the bond that we've created with the staff, like, it's friendship more than a work relationship. Okay. with all the staff. So it's that's something I'm really, really proud of, because something that when we opened, like, one of our ethos was like to treat the staff extremely well, to always look after them and, try and do our utmost to make sure that they were okay at all times. But I suppose things we're most proud of is we've reduced our fuel consumption on the boat, we've reduced our road miles on the seafood, it's all sustainable. We're using all sustainable packaging. And I don't know, Dingle, so people obviously have seen us with the boxes and the compostable packaging. Yeah. I don't think there was much compostable packaging in Dingle, but now everyone seems to use it because they follow suit when they see something positive being done, and it's great. All the businesses have come in together, and it's an eco-friendly thing. We've won a few awards as well. We got into a few food guides. We're in the McKenna guides, we're in the Lucinda O'Sullivan guides. The first year we were open, we won Rural Business of the Year with the Kerryman, which was a special night for us as well. Wow, so it's cool. We never knew that any of these things obviously existed before we opened the fish box, and it's to be able to be recognised with some of the best restaurants and food people in Ireland is absolutely unbelievable. Like, it's to even be able to network with these people is crazy.
Networking is huge. No matter if you're starting out in business or if you're in business for 20 years, networking is always going to benefit you in some way. If it's either posting on LinkedIn, like, there's loads of business communities out there, like there's Connect Kerry inside in Tralee with Mark San, and to get to know people. Yeah, no, it's unbelievable. Like, and we're lucky here because we get to meet so many different trades people. Like, we get to meet the people who come in and do the work for us, the people who do the kitchen equipment. We get to meet chefs. We get to meet like foodies, food reviewers. You get to see so many different people, and I think the people that you network is just so important, because you learn from everybody. Like, everybody you speak to, you learn, and you might talk to somebody and you like an aspect of what you heard or what they're doing, and you might try and pick it up, and like the reverse, you mightn't like something and you might just say, look, I'm definitely not going to be like that. So it's so important, and I think it shapes your direction as well a small bit when you meet these people. 100%, you learn from them. Right, March hit, COVID hit. How did you adapt? What did you do? What did you think?
At the start, I was kind of just a bit angry about the whole thing. I was like, oh, what is this? Like, and what's going on? And, you put so much work into something and you're like, oh, here we go. Like, just my luck. And you kind of feel sorry for yourself for about 5 minutes. And then I was like, you know what? We could actually close for 2 weeks. Just to be safe, and I just kind of just analysed the situation, and again working with the team here, and I just asked them, like, you want to come to work or what you want to do? Like, and they all said, yeah, we want to come to work. Great. So we just started back up, and we just started up with the idea of just providing a service for the people in the town, like, just that they'd have something to look forward to, or just to try and give some positivity back. And we run all these competitions and we do these giveaways and stuff that people seem to really love, and it kind of gets them going. And we're very resilient, we're kind of a stubborn old bunch. So with the boat, you could go out and have a really good trip or a really bad trip. I was like, let's persevere here now, and let's go for it. Because at the start, when myself and Patrick started taking over the boat, things weren't very good. Like, we were kind of in a bad enough place, and we kind of started off basically with nothing. So we just had the mantra with the fish box, because we had no experience that if we went back to having nothing, that it would be okay, that that's where we started. So anything other than that would be success. Yeah, it would be success. So so we just persevered, changed our menu, kept changing things, and tried to keep it fresh. Tried to do these really, like we do the monkfish spice box, which is normally like a meat dish, and we do loads of meat dishes and just put fish into them, which is gas, and people love coming in and trying them, and seeing.
Just being more creative. Yeah,
100%. And somebody might just come in, they're like, oh, we're sick of spun dish, or like, we'll have something else, we'll have this thing that's just a once off. And it really, like, people just seem to just love it. Like, as I said, we've no prior experience in it, so everything is brand new to us.
Then from there, you were able to stay open throughout the whole COVID, just doing the takeaways in the evening. Then summer, it opened up a small bit. We were able to travel by county to county, so I suppose it picked up then a bit.
Yeah, of course. So we did weekends up until the end of June. And then we opened up with obviously 15 seats inside.
Okay.
And we had the idea of putting a marquee up outside. But the weather was so nice that obviously we're fitting the seats inside without any bother. So we were busy with the takeaway. So the takeout option was flying because people were walking around. They wanted to get stuff. We kind of had convenient packaging that they could eat out of the boxes and out of the food bowls. So that was so busy that we couldn't actually open up out the back in the marquee, so we had to just leave it there. So we just used it as storage.
Yeah, like I went back there in the summer and I did the Dingle Sea Safari, and we sat across the way on the church steps and just ate the fish there, and it was just, the sun was blazing. It was really kind of like scenes. It was cool vibes, like sitting across the way eating your fish box, and it was just class. It was just like you couldn't get any better than that after having the first lockdown.
Yeah, no, I think people love it because even when they opened up the county restrictions, we had people driving from all over the county to come and eat here, which again was like crazy, to see, and the support that we've received has just been phenomenal. I suppose, it was so new for everybody, but us being a new business, we were like, geez, what's going on here? So we just adapted and just tried to move on with it and just try to keep it as safe as we could.
And with regards to actually advertising the business, marketing it, what marketing strategies did you use? What are you using now? What ones the ones that just worked really well?
So basically when we started up the Instagram, we wanted just to be honest with everybody, just total honesty, just to show who we are, who our family are, who our staff are, who are the team and what they're doing and how they're working and how we do things. Because a lot of time I think that people don't understand how we skin a fish or fillet a fish or peel a prawn, things like that. And I wanted to show people that this stuff does go on behind the restaurant. Like I want to show people that we've got the freshest of veg, from the O'Connor brothers. We've got fresh bread coming every day from Bocuse. So we've got fresh beer from Dick Max. I wanted to show people that this is what's going on in here. You want to come and try it. So we were doing the social media for a while, and we actually picked up quite a following fairly quick. We had maybe 1,500, 2,000 followers, and a cousin of mine, Aidan Fitzgerald, who works with Apple, contacted me and he said that he was thinking about opening or starting up a kind of a media page. And I said, yeah, sure, come in and do a bit of media for us and we'll just see how it goes. I'll tag you in the posts. And he's been with us since, and it's been his work is just unbelievable. It's so professional, so slick, and he just knows, he just gets the concept. Some people just get it, he just gets it. This is what we want and this is the way we want to see it. Like most of any of the kind of crap pictures are mine and any of the good ones are his, basically. So yeah, so that's the way we go with it. But he's been helping us grow our page, and we just use Facebook and Instagram at the moment. We've started doing a small bit of TikTok, but we're just trying to figure it out. To be honest, the TikTok, I can't figure it out. I'm going to have to give it. I have a nephew who's around, I think he's 11. I was thinking about just giving him the phone and being like, you run the TikTok, and that's it. Because
TikTok is genuinely, and I said it, this is the third episode now and I've mentioned TikTok in every single one, and it's kind of like TikTok is just the one that's actually taking off. And also I haven't a clue about TikTok either, so it's been the guy that's been working with me with the bouncy castles. I give him the phone and he's there like doing his time lapses and all this kind of thing like that. I have no notion. But then influencer marketing. You've had a couple of really influential people come into the shop and you've had people tag it. Yeah, it's crazy because, a lot of the influencers and stuff that I actually wouldn't know. And like my girlfriend or my sister would say to me, such and such was in, and I'd be like, oh right, yeah. I was like, okay. She was like, she said it was great, and I was like, great, because we try and our kind of mantra is we try and treat everybody exactly the same and give them all that there's a standard. So basically that if we do fish box in Dublin, that they get the same story, the same attention. Exactly. So we always have an extra member of floor staff working to get around and tell the story. I know it's a bit more expensive and the bookkeeper isn't always happy with it, but I think when people get that attentive service, that it's really, really important. It just eliminates any issues or flaws that may be with the meal. If they wanted something, if somebody's looking for salt or ketchup or something and they didn't get somebody's attention, it could upset them. Makes a big difference. 100%. And there's always I always try and get down and chat to anyone that's in, and it's either me or the restaurant manager, or my sister obviously pops down as well, or my mom would pop down. So it's great. But we've had a couple of soccer stars. When the soccer stars come in, I get a bit fangirlish, but running up behind the counter, here's my phone, take a picture with me. Yeah. We're just waiting for Darren Kennedy to come in now. When he comes in, we'll be happy. That'd be savage. Now you'll go live for that one.
Yeah. And I'll be out the back.
Oh man. Yeah, no, and like, because when I was back doing the sea safari that time, and you know, fair play to her, Roz Purcell came down to Dingle and she brought so much attention to the town, and she went into the fish box and she did the sea safari. Like, I was out on the sea safari and Cathal Lade was there and he was bringing us out, and he said like people want to go to Roz's cave, and like I was like, wow, the influence she had on Dingle at the time, the amount of people that went down, and you know, and just created so much business in COVID for businesses that had to close. You know, I just thought it was fantastic.
Unbelievable. Like, and I actually follow her page for a while. She's actually a really, really good page to follow. She always just does things for the right reason. There's never any kind of hidden messages. She just wants to like promote positive mindset, positive mentality, you know. And she's got such a following, like, and she's like, obviously she's famous, obviously, like, so she you know, she has such an influence on younger people, especially. Like, she shares all the right stuff, like, you know, about people's appearance and things like that. Yeah, just a really good page to follow. And she was lovely when I actually met her when she was here. She was absolutely lovely person and down to earth, and just a lovely being.
One of many. Like, there was Miss Makeup as well. She was down there with the whole family there, and I was you know, and that's great for your business as well, because when someone of their followers comes to Dingle, they're like, oh yeah, let's go to the fish box, like, you know.
Yeah, you'd be small but nervous when they come in. Like, say when other restaurateurs come in, that's when the real pressure comes on. You have to make sure it's flawless for those.
And then sure, the day I walked in and Mick Wallace walked in and he was there in his sandals and he was there at the gatch of him, and I was like, this fella, and next thing I was like, here, show me your phone. You went out and took a picture with him, you know, and it was like, yeah, you know.
Yeah, I forgot about that actually. It's actually on his Twitter, I think.
Oh really? Okay, yeah.
No, he's gas. It's funny, like, because you obviously get some people in, like, and some people you don't recognise at all, like, and you obviously wouldn't recognise them. Then you'd be like, I know him from somewhere, and then whatever, they're famous, like.
Plus, when you're busy and when you're working, you're not really thinking about that. You're thinking about frying this fish, you know. And then someone comes in. It was only my father. When he said it to me that day, I was like, okay, grand, yeah, let's get a picture with him and throw it up on the social media.
We had a couple of the Munster rugby lads in about 6 months ago. And my nephew was big into rugby. He just froze. He just couldn't believe it. Like, he was just there, oh my God.
This is amazing.
Yeah, so it's gas. Like, but you know, they were actually so nice. Took him out for a photo and signed shirts for him and stuff. They were really professional, really nice.
And look, I suppose, looking back over this whole conversation, the most valuable takeaway piece of information that you'd like to give to anyone that's starting up in business?
Just be patient, I think, you know, is the main thing. Sometimes, like, I just think that sometimes I'm very kind of trigger happy. Like, I'd make a decision very fast. Like, I wouldn't dwell on something. I'd be like, yeah, just do that and that's it, like, you know. But I looking back, I'm even now I'm trying to be more patient about things. You know, I try and take a step back and take a day or two to decide, and just go with it. Like, you know, food and cars, you can't please everybody. Everyone has a different opinion on them. So I think with anything, you know, you have to just do what you think is right yourself. I got that advice before we started. Somebody just said to me, they said, look, everyone's going to have an opinion. Do what you think yourself is right, and just see how it goes, you know. And if it works, it works. And if it doesn't, change. So that's what we've been trying to do, just go with our gut. And sometimes things work and sometimes they don't, and that's kind of the way we go with it.
That's business, trial and error, trying to make it work. Yeah, and that's all you can do. 100%.
Just try and plan for the future as much as you can, like, you know, put a rainy day fund away and hope for the best. Just jump in and
exactly.
Hope for the best.
And let's hope restrictions lift now and things get back to normal for the summer and you get your summer trade back.
Please God, yeah, we're looking forward to now seeing some people again. We haven't seen some regular customers now in a while, you know, from around the place, and it's tough. So I hope that next couple of months are fairly positive. But I suppose the main thing now is just getting it right, that when we do reopen, that we can stay open, that it won't be another closure, you know, that we just get through this and it should be fine.
Yeah, and by God, will I be back down in Dingle with bouncy castles back into the fish box. And I can't wait, because I haven't been in Dingle. I've been in Dingle since September. and I was there every single from when we opened on May 18th. I was there every single week all the way up to the last week of September, and not been there since. I love going down there. So
it's mad. Like it's tough. Like we get so many messages on Instagram being like, we cannot wait.
It's like
to come down, and we get the other half of the messages in are, we're unfollowing the page until we're allowed to come to Dingle again, as we can't be looking at the food. So it's funny.
Yeah, no, like anyone that's closed now, and with everything, like even construction at the moment, like you just can't wait to just get back up and going, just get out of the house. People are sitting inside in the house all day long, and it's just painful.
Yeah, I think for like just the state of people's mental health and things, people need to get back going, and just I'd say even if people were making less money working, they'd be rather just be out and about working.
100%. Yeah.
So it's nuts, but look, please God, that everything works out.
Micheál, we're coming to the end of the chat. I won't call it an interview. I want this podcast to be seen as just a chat with entrepreneurs talking about their stories. But look, as we're coming to the end of this, I want to say, where's the fish box going in the future? What's the plan? What's the goal? What's the dream?
I suppose the last 12 months really have set us back a small bit, but this for the immediate future, we're developing our courtyard at the moment for outdoor dining. We're going to be having custom built-in booths with obviously with their own personal heating and lighting, just to create a different ambience to the fish box. It's because we have a lovely courtyard here, and we just want people to be able to experience it. We didn't open it up last year, but this year we will be opening it up just to showcase it. It's just nice out there, it's peaceful. And for long-term plans, I don't really know. Some days I wake up and say I want to have a fish box in every corner of Ireland, and then other days I'm thinking, maybe I'm just happy enough with this one. But look, long term we're looking to maybe expand out and branch out a small bit, and maybe open another shop hopefully, and maybe develop an area where we can process a small bit more of our seafood and distribute that. These are things we were kind of in discussion about, but just trying to stay healthy now and mind ourselves and just survive this kind of lockdown and just see where it takes us after that. With the boat, they always have something that requires some work or whatever, so God only knows that they're going to be drawn out of it, so we'll see how it goes.
And then as it is, you're still keeping local people employed. Your doors are still opened, which is great.
Yeah, 100%. We normally have around 25 on the go in the summertime, in kind of rotation, 25, 26. But it's great because the team that stayed on, they've all upskilled, they're all able to, they've got the barista style coffees now. They're all able to do all the different aspects of the fish box. So we'll never be stuck for a position. They'll be like, okay, I'll fill in there. And it's been really, really positive. They've been so forthcoming, really, really positive to see, and it's kind of heartwarming to see them, progress, and it's great.
Micheál, someone that is sitting on an idea at home, they're thinking, okay, do I not? Setting up a business, any advice for them? I
think go for it. I think the rule of thumb is if you're in a job and you're looking at something on the side, so if you work your 9 to 5, you work then from 7 to 11 on your side project. That's the kind of way that I was doing it when I was in college. That was my thing. I'd do my college work and then I'd work on this, and I worked on it for a long, long time. Find out what you want to do, why you want to do it, and who you're doing it for. I think then just go for it. If it makes sense, go for it.
I love it. That was class.
But don't quit your job unless it's going to work. No. Just I think people, if anyone's starting up a business that they're unsure about, they should definitely, if they've got a job or if they're doing something in the meantime, they should hold on to that until their secondary, like till their idea is able to walk on its own feet. It's important, because with any new business there is obviously financial constraints, and there is strains that come on it, and sometimes when you get those strains it's very disheartening, if you can't support it.
Yeah, and when it comes to like cash flow and everything at the start of a business, that's a big pullback in a lot of businesses.
Yeah, 100%, because all the business plans in the world and all the things you can cater for, there's going to be spanners in the work. It's going to be multiplied by 10, because that's just what happens, and that's just the way it goes.
And one thing you mentioned there, which is a very valid point, is if you have a job from 9 to 5 and then as Micheál said there, you come home and you work on your own business and your own project from 7 to 11. There's no one stopping you. There's no one saying that the day can't be a working day until 11 o'clock at night. There's absolutely not. Right, you have to take into consideration your own health and get enough sleep. But still, you're still going to get it in and you're still going to manage it. So if you are finished work at 6 o'clock, that doesn't mean you have to stop. There's still how many hours left in the day?
Yeah, I hear loads of people speak to, obviously, because whatever, I was young and I started this up with my brother. People come and speak to us and they say, how did you find the time and all that? But it's actually very easy. And a mentor of mine broke it down for me one time. He said there's just so many hours in the week. He was like, and you need to just divide them up this way. But if you actually think about it, the amount of time you spend on your phone, if you ever check your screen time on your phone,
sick.
Or if you go on how much time you spend watching Netflix and stuff, if you took that time and put it into your passion, what would come out of it? You know what I mean? It's unbelievable. I know the first lockdown I wrote a recipe book, the fish ebook, which is on our website as a free download, and that's what I did. I just deleted all the stuff off my phone. Netflix was gone. Please put my phone in a different room. I sat down every day for about 3 weeks writing the book, and with the help of Aidan, then we obviously put it up online, and it's been quite popular. But the amount of stuff you can accomplish when you just delegate your time, that's what I'm doing this time and that's it. It's unreal.
I love that point. There's going to be so many people now deleting every single app off their phone after hearing that. They're going to be like, I'm doing this, I'm going to there's time there and you have to work with it and you have to maneuver it and you have to play with it,
Yeah, just important to delete all the apps except the Fishbox Dingle app. Keep that one on for Friday nights.
Go onto your app store and download it now. And
available in all good retail stores.
And then, so look, I'm going to put you right in the spot here. Tell us something interesting about yourself that nobody knows.
A lot of people don't know that I'm actually a teacher, a qualified teacher.
Oh, okay.
So I graduated from UL in 2017 with a bachelor's in material and education technology, with a concurrent bachelor's of education. It's funny, a lot of people come to me and they're like, what's your background? And I'm like, I'm a teacher. And they're like, and what do you do now? I'm like, teaching people to love fish, to eat fish. And they're like, okay. And I think they think that I'm messing or whatever, but yeah, no, I'm a teacher or whatever, so it's gas. Patrick's actually a qualified civil engineer. So
wow.
we had the fallback plans in place before we started taking any risks.
Yeah. So you're in college, right? And even times you're planning ahead for the fish box and you're trying to make this work. This was all happening around the same time, wasn't it? Yeah.
So basically in 2016, we kind of the idea or the building came to fruition, and I was in the middle of third year of college. So I had a year and a half left. And
how did you think in your head as to, am I foolish going away from this job that I could be a teacher, or else I could be a restaurant owner,
Yeah, I don't know, I don't know, I just kind of had in my head that if I'd have a long life if I didn't love what I was going to do, you know what I mean? And that it would just be, when I went teaching, I'll never forget it. I did 4th year teaching practice and I got an A1, which is the top grade. And I remember sitting down with the mentors after, my 2 tutors, and I just told them, I was like, look, I'm never going to go teaching. And they couldn't believe it. They were like, what? And I was like, it's just not for me. I was like, I don't know why. It's just something telling me it's just not for me. And I remember them telling me that whatever about my grade, and I didn't even get that much of a buzz off it. I was like, it's just not for me. And I did a couple of weeks teaching then, but the last Christmas before we weren't open, I did a couple of weeks teaching just to see maybe I changed my mind, and I hadn't at all. And
then I suppose you had to go and you had to just try it, because you had went to college for so many years and I have to try it at least for a couple of weeks. You have to see, would I have liked it at all, because coming out with an A1 in it and then saying, nah, not for me. And then the tutors looking at you saying, but you're actually made for it,
Yeah, it's mad, because, things get tough here sometimes and you just think to yourself, why didn't I go teaching? And at 4 o'clock every day, I'll go home, and that's it. And till tomorrow.
And then, so look, tell our listeners where they can find you online, where the fish box is, and everything like that.
Yeah, so we're on Instagram at the Fishbox Dingle, and we're on TikTok the same at the Fishbox Dingle, and on Facebook we're the Fishbox / Flannery Seafood Bar. We also have our own very own app, the Fishbox Dingle, where you can check out our menus and pre-order with us or download or just order in general with us. You can just catch us on Green Street, just a few doors up from Dick Mac's. So it's a good excuse to come and see us.
Yeah, exactly. I hope to be back there in the summer anyway, going out in Dingle number 1, doing bouncy castles in Dingle number 2, and having the fish box number 3.
Lovely. Can't wait for it. We can't wait to see everybody. We're just looking forward to just getting back to normal now.
Exactly. Listen, thank you very, very much, and thanks for being a guest on the Biztrepreneur podcast.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to the 4th episode of the Biztrepreneur podcast. It has been a crazy week. Many more really cool, influential guests to come. I'm really looking forward to it. This is getting exciting. Did not expect any of this to happen. The analytics are rocketing. People are listening. I'm getting on the Apple charts. Thank you. Plus, we're on Instagram. Check it out. Biztrepreneur Podcast. Give us a follow. And also, I'd really appreciate if you like, subscribe, rate, review, screenshot, put it on your story, whatever it is, all that good stuff. And I hope to see you back here next Thursday. Thank you and goodbye.